Greetings, comrades. We always argue that Zimbabwe is not a failed state. We have defined the state in class terms in this in this platform, and we have come to the conclusion that Zimbabwe is not a failed state. Yes, the government of Zimbabwe has failed to deliver to the people of Zimbabwe what it promised them during elections. In fact, it has never delivered what it promised the people for the last 45 years. But that does not in any way suggest that Zimbabwe is a failed state. The Democratic of Congo now fits the bill of a failed state. You have unelected individuals under the banner of M23 who now govern section of Congo. The Kinshasa administration has lost control of some regions or provinces of the Democratic Republic of Congo, not Zimbabwe. We are raising this in the context of the arrest of a journalist, Blessed Mhlanga, was arrested in Harare. As we are looking into the headline news today, there's an article which says Draconian Law, Zimbabwe makes first Cyber and Data Protection Act arrest after journalist is detained for broadcasting press conferences. Right. So this journalist, Blessed Mhlanga, broadcasted a press conference by blessing Geza, the war veteran and the ZANU-PF Central Committee member. You remember that Geza addressed the press conference where he demanded the resignation of President Emmerson Mnangagwa and condemned the 2030 agenda. So when a press conference was held, after the press conference, then journalists, as they will do world over, they will then broadcast or even put the press conference will be broadcast live. Right? That's what journalists do. But this is said to be in violation of the Cyber and the Data Protection Act, which has led to the arrest of journalist Mhlanga. It says, the article, Zimbabwe has made its first high-profile arrest under the new Cyber and the Data Protection Act, CDPA, detaining journalist Blessed Mhlanga. He is accused of broadcasting press conferences held by a politician calling for President Emmerson Mnangagwa to step down. Mhlanga is a journalist with one of the largest media companies in Zimbabwe, Alpha Media Holdings. He had presented himself to the police when the police wrote on X, formerly Twitter, that they were looking for him. It says he was subsequently charged and detained on 2 accounts of contravening Section 164 of the Criminal Law Codification and Reform Act. that is the charge against the journalist Mhlanga. So Zimbabwe, as I started by saying, is not a failed state. The system will come after those it perceived against it. So what the system, the Zimbabwean political system, or the state wanted was not to broadcast whatever Geza was saying about the 2030 agenda. If what he was saying was not in support of President Emmerson Mnangagwa. But you'll all agree that if Geza and his colleagues called a press conference for the purposes of mobilizing the entire Zimbabwean mass of the people to support the 23rd agenda, and Mhlanga then broadcast that he will not be sitting in prison. Last week we spoke about comrades that wanted to hold a meeting in Mtara, about 40 of them, led by Comrade Job Sikala. Their meeting was disrupted. They were all arrested. So the Zimbabwean state is not weak, and it has not failed. It continues to protect the interests of the class that it represents. There are also others which we must analyze critically so that we do not make a mistake. The perception is created out there that Deputy President General Constantine Chiwenga is opposed to the 23rd agenda, that he is leading a faction that is opposed to this. And the one would expect that if indeed that is the case, I'm not saying it's not the case, I'm saying it's a perception, because I've no detail on this. Would expect that if indeed is true, and what Geza in his press conferences says benefits the vice president, some in ZANU-PF today will be condemning the arrest of journalist Mhlanga. I might have missed that. Maybe they've already done so. But the photos and the visuals that I saw when he appeared in court, I saw members of the opposition that went to give solidarity to journalist Mhlanga. I did not see those ZANU-PF supporters who were singing at the Heroes Egg some few days ago, singing in favor of the vice president. I did not see them. Maybe they were there. I did not see them. So we condemn this very law. We condemn the arrest of journalist Mhlanga. The Zimbabwe Republic Police should not have arrested Mhlanga, but they could have stopped the press conference if the press conference was illegal. But how can a press conference be illegal when in a democracy people have a right to express their political views? Because you don't have to agree on everything. Let me conclude by reading here. It says the press conferences were broadcast to AMHS YouTube channel, HSTV. The arrest coincides with the efforts by Zimbabwe's Data Protection Authority, POTRAS, to educate companies on CDPA compliance. POTRAS, tasked with enforcing the CDPA, has been holding workshops to promote compliance. Then here it says, the Cyber and Data Protection Act was enacted in December 2021 with the stated objective of increasing data protection in order to build confidence and trust in the secure use of information and communication technologies. Because of the social media now, over the years, government will ban private media. People will only be dependent for information on the state media. But with the social media now, people get information on daily basis from many sources. This is why government introduced this law. And the lesson that they are trying to send to journalists is that when there's a press conference, one firstly should ask the authorities or ZANU-PF itself to say, we've got a notice of this press conference. Is this press conference in line with your thinking? Should you broadcast it? Then ZANU-PF will say yes or no. That's basically the message they are sending. That journalists should only broadcast what ZANU-PF wants to be broadcast out there. Please write in the comment section, like this video, subscribe to this YouTube channel. If you are on TikTok, please do follow us. Otherwise, have a great day. Goodbye.